I stand frozen at the entrance of Le Ciel de Paris, my hand still clutching the brass door handle. 12 place settings gleam on the white linen tablecloth, exactly 12. The Paris skyline stretches behind them, the Eiffel Tower punctuating the dusk with its golden glow. Champagne bubbles catch the light from crystal flutes, while waiters glide between guests with practiced precision. My mother-in-law Margot's laughter carries across the terrace, that practiced sound I've come to recognize over 6 years of marriage to her son. Her diamond bracelet catches the light as she touches cousin Rebecca's arm, leaning in to share what I'm certain is another carefully crafted anecdote designed to impress. "Darling, you made it." Andrew's voice startles me from behind. My husband of 6 years places his hand on the small of my back, guiding me forward as if I needed direction. 6 years, and the casual touch still sends warmth through me, despite everything. But I don't move. My eyes scan the table again. 12 settings, 12 chairs, 12 Hastings family members already seated or mingling nearby. No empty chair waits for me. "Andrew," I whisper, my voice steadier than I feel. "There's no place for me at the table." He follows my gaze, a small furrow appearing between his brows before smoothing away. Must be a miscount." The casual dismissal in his tone sends a chill through me that has nothing to do with the evening breeze. I straighten my spine and cross the terrace, Andrew trailing behind me. The conversation dips momentarily as I approach, then resumes with forced enthusiasm. Uncle Gerald suddenly finds his water glass fascinating. Cousin Rebecca whispers something to her husband behind her hand. "Oh dear, there must have been a miscount." Margot rises slightly, her silk dress rustling. The smile she offers doesn't reach her eyes. It never has, not for me. The staff here can be so careless sometimes. "I thought she wasn't joining for family matters," Rebecca murmurs, loud enough for me to hear. Her words land like small pebbles, tiny but sharp. Andrew slides into his seat, barely glancing up at me. "Oops," he chuckles, reaching for the wine. Must be a miscount. The second time he says it, the words sound rehearsed, practiced. My throat tightens. I see my seat at the family table seems to have disappeared. My voice comes out low but firm, carrying just far enough. Several heads turn away, suddenly engrossed in their menus or the view. "Don't be so dramatic, Elise." Andrew's dismissive chuckle scrapes against my ears. The waiter can bring another chair. But no one calls for the waiter. No one offers to scoot over. No one stands to fix the still light. 6 years flash through my mind. Meeting Andrew during the Richardson wedding I'd coordinated. His charming smile as he asked for my card. For future events. Our whirlwind romance. His proposal 6 months later. And then, meeting the Hastings family. Margot's first words echo in my memory. How novella wedding planner marrying the groom. That practiced smile, the one that never warmed when she looked at me. "I suppose you'll be handling all our family functions now." "Not as family. As help." I brushed it off, believing Andrew when he promised they'd warm to me. "They're just protective," he'd insisted. "Old money families take time to adjust to newcomers." 6 years of adjusting. 6 years of subtle exclusions and whispered comments. 6 birthdays where my gift arrived a day late with apologies about delivery issues. Christmas dinners where everyone received monogrammed gifts except Memine, always something generic, hastily wrapped. I'd tried so hard. Learned their customs, their inside jokes, planned flawless gatherings that impressed even their snobbiest friends. Used my connections to secure impossible reservations. Spent countless hours listening to Margot's thinly veiled criticisms disguised as helpful suggestions. All while building my company from scratch, turning refined and ready into New York's most exclusive event planning service. And still, no seat at their table. Something shifts inside me, a quiet click, like a lock tumbling into place. My hand slides from Andrew's shoulder, the expensive fabric of his suit cool under my fingers. "Enjoy your family dinner," I say, my smile perfectly poised. "I'll see myself out." For one brief moment, discomfort ripples across their faces. Gerald shifts in his seat. Rebecca's husband examines his napkin. Even Margot's composure slips, just for a heartbeat. Then relief washes over them, almost palpable in its intensity. They wanted this outcome all along. I turn and walk away, my heels marking a steady rhythm across the terrace. My shoulders back, head high. Behind me, conversation resumes. Laughter bubbles up, freer now. The sound follows me through the door and into the elevator. Only when the doors close do I allow myself a single shaky breath. What would you do if your spouse's family deliberately excluded you after 6 years of marriage? Would you walk away quietly or would you take action? And what if you discovered this slight was just the tip of a much larger betrayal? The golden glow of Paris lights spills across my hotel suite as I sit cross-legged on the king-sized bed, my laptop balanced on my knees. The spreadsheets open on my screen paint a financial picture I've suspected for months, but never wanted to confirm. Nearly $12 million in failed Hastings family investments stare back at me in neat, damning columns. My fingers hover over the keyboard, trembling slightly as I plug in the flash drive I found tucked in Andrew's briefcase 3 weeks ago. He'd been careless that day, rushing out to meet his mother for lunch. The black drive sits innocuously among my files now, its contents far more explosive than its plain appearance suggests. The folder opens, revealing dozens of documents with innocuous names. My stomach tightens as I click on one titled simply, Announcement. The document loads, and the world stops. Andrew and Brielle Kingsley are pleased to announce. I read the paragraph 3 times, my brain refusing to process the words. Andrew's ex-girlfriend, the one he dated before me, the one Margot always spoke of with that wistful tone. My fingers move mechanically through the remaining files. Draft divorce papers with Andrew's signature already in place. Text messages between him and Brielle spanning back 18 months. An ultrasound image dated 3 weeks ago. And then I find it Margot's handwritten note scanned and saved as a PDF. Finally, the right woman for the Hastings. Scrolling further reveals Margot's calculated fingerprints everywhere. Emails between her and Brielle going back 3 years long before the affair even started. Lunch dates. Shopping excursions for the perfect heirloom to pass down. Margot had been orchestrating my replacement while accepting my Christmas gifts and pretending to tolerate me at family functions. The dinner tonight, the missing chair, it wasn't just another slight. It was the preamble to my replacement. Andrew sitting there, smiling at his family, champagne in hand, while planning to ambush me with divorce papers. The entire family complicit in my humiliation, rehearsing their roles in this elaborate takedown. While I sat alone in our suite this afternoon, they'd been rehearsing how to tell me that Andrew was leaving me for his pregnant ex-girlfriend. The family dinner wasn't just excluding me, it was celebrating my imminent departure. I shut the laptop and push it away, swinging my legs over the side of the bed. The plush carpet cushions my bare feet as I walk to the balcony doors and fling them open. The spring air rushes in, carrying the scent of rain-washed streets and distant bakeries. 6 years of my life, 6 years building a business while simultaneously propping up the Hastings family finances. The quarterly transfers to their investment accounts, the loans that were never repaid. The vacations charged to my company credit card as business development. All this time, I thought I was helping family. Instead, I was funding their lifestyle while they plotted behind my back, bleeding my company dry as they prepared to discard me. My hands grip the balcony railing as Paris sprawls before me, the Eiffel Tower punctuating the night sky like an elaborate exclamation point. Between my fingers, my wedding ring catches the light from the street below. I twist it once, twice, then slip it off completely. A single tear slides down my cheek before I swipe it away. Tears won't fix this. Nothing will fix this. But I can damn well make sure they don't walk away unscathed. I turn back to the room, purpose replacing shock. My phone is in my hand before I fully formed a plan, scrolling to find Jamie's number. Boss? It's midnight here. Everything okay? My assistant's voice grounds me immediately. I need every contract pulled immediately. every Hastings family event, every rental agreement, every vendor payment schedule. Jamie, bless her, doesn't ask why. Give me 20 minutes to get to the office. I'll call the team. Victoria? Call her too. My lawyer has warned me about the Hastings finances for years. I should have listened sooner. The loyalty of my team hits me in stark contrast to the family I married into. My refined and ready staff, who've pulled all-nighters to rescue impossible events. Who covered for me when I missed meetings for Hastings family emergencies? Who never complained when I diverted company resources to impress Andrew's connections? They've been my real family all along, standing beside me while I chased approval from people who never intended to give it. While I wait, I pull up the itinerary for the next 2 weeks of the Hastings Grand European Tour I meticulously planned, leveraging every professional connection I've built over the last decade. The chateau in Bordeaux, the yacht in Monaco, the private tour of the Vatican, all booked under my company's name, all dependent on my reputation and relationships, all paid for with my money while they depleted their accounts funding failed investment schemes. My phone buzzes with an incoming call from Victoria. Tell me everything, she says instead of hello. There's loyalty in her voice steadies me further. 20 minutes later, I make the first call. The manager at Chateau Margaux answers immediately despite the late hour. Jean-Michel, it's Elise Hastings. I apologize for calling at this hour, but there's been an unfortunate situation with the Hastings reservation next week. My professional voice never wavers as I explain the circumstances, not the personal betrayal, but the business complications that necessitate cancellation. Jean-Michel, who has worked with me on dozens of events, asks no questions beyond what he needs to know. Of course, Elise, we will handle this with discretion. And your personal reservation remains unchanged? Yes, thank you. 3 more calls follow in quick succession. The yacht company, the tour guide, the jewelry house where Andrew had planned to buy Margot another tennis bracelet to replace the one she complained about last Christmas. The hotel concierge knocks softly at my door as I hang up from the final call. His eyes hold sympathy as he hands me the envelope containing the rerouted payment confirmations. Is there anything else you require, Madam Hastings? I glance at my phone as it lights up with Andrew's name. The chateau says there's a problem with our reservation? No, thank you, I tell the concierge, a calm settling over me like a cloak. I have everything I need. Have you ever discovered someone's betrayal was much worse than you initially thought? Did you confront them immediately, or did you take time to formulate a response? My phone vibrates across the hotel desk for the 8th time in 20 minutes. Andrew's name flashes on the screen, his handsome face smiling up from the photo I took in Santorini last summer. I let it ring. What are you doing? You'll ruin us. His voicemail echoes through the suite, voice pitched higher than his usual controlled tone. Call me back immediately. The Parisian morning light streams through the windows, catching dust motes that dance in the golden beams. My finger hovers over the delete button. I press it. 3 sharp knocks at my door break the silence. I check the peephole, unsurprised to find Margot standing in the hallway, wearing a powder blue St. John's suit with her signature pearls. Elise. She brushes past me without waiting for an invitation. This childish behavior must stop. Do you have any idea what you're doing to this family? I close the door softly, a strange calm settling over me like a familiar shawl. 6 years of slights crystallize in my mind with sudden clarity: the forgotten birthday invitations, the Christmas gifts without thought, the subtle corrections to my table manners. All while I built Refined and Ready from a dream into New York's premier event planning service. Our family name carries weight in these circles, she continues, voice dropping to a hiss. If you think you can damage them with a tantrum, you are sorely mistaken. The word family strikes me as particularly hollow now. My phone buzzes with a text from Rebecca. We're all concerned about your emotional state. This isn't like you. Another arrives from Gerald. Let's talk this through like family. Family. The word tastes bitter now. The Hastings name isn't on those reservations, Margot. Mine is. She freezes. In that moment, I see every calculation running behind her eyes. You're nothing without the Hastings name, dear. Her diamond bracelet catches the light as she adjusts her pearls. Wedding planner playing dress up in our world. Actually, Margot, it's the reverse. I set my cup down with a gentle clink. Refined and Ready made $3 million in profit last quarter. I've built something from nothing while watching your family spend money that doesn't exist. Color drains from her face. You don't know what you're talking about. I know about the failed investment in the Singapore property group. The yacht that's mortgaged to the waterline. The line of credit you've been using to maintain appearances. I moved to the window, gazing out at the Parisian skyline. I also know about Brielle and the baby. Margot's perfect posture falters. For the first time in 6 years, I've surprised her into silence. My laptop chimes with an incoming video call. Jamie's familiar face appears, her red curls framing tired eyes. Behind her, I glimpse our Manhattan office buzzing with activity, despite the early hour in New York. I'm on the 9:15 flight, she says without preamble. Victoria's team worked through the night. The documents are ready for your signature when I land. The Collins wedding? I ask, aware of Margot still standing frozen behind me. Handled. Sophia's taking point. Mark's covering everything else. I nod, warmed by their efficiency. These connections were built on respect, not inheritance, I say loudly enough for Margot to hear. After Jamie's call ends, Margot's mask has slipped back into place, though a slight tremor in her hand betrays her. This is a misunderstanding that can be remedied, she says, reaching for her practiced social smile. I shake my head. I have a meeting. 40 minutes later, I sit at a cafe across from the Maurice, where the Hastings are dining. Through the restaurant's windows, I watch a scene unfold, the maitre d' approaching their table, speaking quietly to Gerald. Andrew stands, face flushed with anger as he gestures sharply at his phone. Rebecca clutches her husband's arm, eyes wide with disbelief. Margot's stiff smile crumbles as she unclasps her diamond tennis bracelet and hands it to the manager as collateral. Your reservations have been canceled, I whisper to myself, watching Andrew stab frantically at his phone. All of them. The chateau in Provence. The yacht in Monaco. The private tours Andrew bragged about to his college friends. All gone, with a few calls from the woman they never considered family, just the help with convenient connections. Back in my new suit knot, the one Margot knows about, I spread documents across the desk with methodical precision. Financial statements showing wire transfers from my accounts to Hastings' family expenses. Emails between Margot and the family lawyer discussing how to limit my claim on assets when the time comes. The suite phone rings. The concierge informs me that Mrs. Hastings has asked for my room number. Which Mrs. Hastings? I ask, though I know the answer. Mrs. Margot Hastings. She appears, distressed. I'm not receiving visitors, I reply. Very good, madame. I turn back to arranging my evidences, screenshots of Andrew's text messages to Brielle over the past 18 months, including appointments with her obstetrician. Documentation of the family emergency that pulled Andrew away on our anniversary, actually, a weekend in Lake Como with Brielle. My phone buzzes with a text from Andrew. We need to talk. Meet me at the cafe on Rue Saint-Honoré at 4. My fingers hover above the screen before typing, I'll be there in 30 minutes. I gather the evidence into a leather portfolio, then reach for a second folder labeled simply, Contingency. Inside lies the culmination of everything I've learned about leverage during 6 years of being treated as an outsider by the family I married into. The weight of it feels good in my hands. Solid. Real. What would you bring to a meeting with someone who betrayed you? Would you seek reconciliation or closure? I already know my answer. The cafe chair scrapes against the cobblestone as Andrew checks his watch for the third time in 5 minutes. His fingers drum against the white tablecloth, his wedding ring catching the afternoon sunlight. I spot him from across the street, my folder heavy in my hands. 6 years of marriage reduced to documentation and leverage. When I cross the street, my stride doesn't falter. The click of my heels against the pavement marks a steady countdown. Andrew's head snaps up at the sound. Darling, there you are. His smile flashes the same one he used when introducing me to potential clients. I place my phone on the table between us, thumbs sliding across the screen to start recording. The red circle pulses, a digital heartbeat. Andrew's eyes flicker to the phone, then away. There's been a misunderstanding. Has there? I settle into the chair, spine straight, folder positioned precisely before me. Mother gets carried away sometimes. He leans forward, voice dropping to a confidential whisper. You know how she is about tradition and appearances. And Brielle? The name hangs between us. His eyes dart to the leftist tell. She's just an old friend helping with some investments. The family's portfolio has taken some hits lately. We're in a bit of trouble, actually. His voice cracks with practiced vulnerability. Father's last venture failed spectacularly. We need your connections now more than ever. His fingers brush mine, and it takes everything in me not to flinch. We can start fresh after Paris, stronger than before. I've had enough. My fingers slip into the folder and extract the glossy ultrasound image. With surgical precision, I slide it across the table. Congratulations on the baby, Andrew. 3 months along, isn't she? The color drains from his face so quickly, I wonder if he might faint. His Adam's apple bobs as he swallows. I've already contacted my lawyer. Here are my terms. I open the folder, revealing the documents Victoria prepared. My phone buzzes with an incoming call. Margot's name flashes on the screen. Right on schedule, I murmur, declining the call. Within seconds, Andrew's phone chimes. He doesn't check it. Mother sends her apologies, he says, voice hollow. Just a seething misunderstanding, dear. His phone pings repeatedly messages from cousins suddenly remembering my birthday, invitations to family gatherings. Andrew's eyes fill with tears. Ellie, please. I made a mistake. I'll tell Brielle it's over. Complete transparency from now on. The family wants us all for breakfast tomorrow. To clear everything up. I stand, gathering my folder. Your mother always did prefer breakfast for delivering bad news. As I walk away, I hear him whisper into his phone. She knows. She fucking knows everything. From across the street, I watch him hurry to meet Brielle, who's been waiting outside a nearby shop. I linger just long enough to overhear fragments of their conversation. What happened? Brielle clutches his arm. She has the ultrasound. Andrew's voice breaks. She knows everything. Brielle's face pales. But you said she'd never. I know what I said. His hushed voice carries on the breeze. Mother will figure something out. I slip around the corner and lean against the cool stone wall. My phone buzzes again. Margot. I answer this time. Hello, Margot. Elise, darling. Her voice drips with honey. That dreadful business at Le Ciel was a simple misunderstanding with the reservations. Was it? Absolutely. She pauses. We've planned a special family breakfast tomorrow. Everyone's so looking forward to seeing you. From my vantage point, I can still see Andrew and Brielle. Her copper hair catches the sunlight as she gestures frantically. She looks so young, the perfect Hastings wife in the making. Of course, Margot, I wouldn't miss it. I hang up as a text arrives from Rebecca. Happy belated birthday, cousin. So sorry I missed it. My birthday was 8 months ago. Andrew and Brielle have moved closer, not realizing I can still see them. That event planner girl won't know what hit her. Margot's voice comes through Andrew's phone on speaker. Just stick to the plan. I step back into the shadows, clutching my folder tighter. The truth solidifies within me. Nothing has changed, only their tactics. Across the street, Andrew and Brielle begin to argue, their hushed voices growing heated. The first cracks in the Hastings facade are appearing, and I haven't even executed the rest of my plan. Sometimes betrayal comes with its own perfect justice. I sit with perfect posture in the private dining room of Le Grand Hotel, my leather portfolio placed precisely at the center of my place setting. The morning light filters through gauzy curtains, casting a deceptively gentle glow over the Hastings family as they assemble around the table. Margot dabs at her eyes with a monogrammed handkerchief. The emerald ring on her finger, the one she pointedly told me was only for blood Hastings women, catches the light with each theatrical gesture. Family means everything to us, Elise, she says, her voice wavering with well-practiced emotion. These misunderstandings can be resolved if we simply remember what matters most. The family lawyer, Mr. Calloway, clears his throat. He's been with the Hastings for 30 years, back when there was actual money to manage rather than appearances to maintain. Mrs. Hastings, he begins, nodding at me with careful formality. Prenuptial agreements are quite clear about separating business assets from marital property. The accommodations and reservations fall under Refined and Ready's contractual obligations, which would need to be addressed separately from any personal matters. The threat hangs in the air, wrapped in legal speak, but unmistakable. Andrew reaches across the table, not quite touching my hand when I don't extend it toward him. We can work through this if you just reinstate the reservations, he says, the slight tremor in his voice, revealing more desperation than affection. The family's counting on you. I remain silent, watching as each family member shifts uncomfortably in their seats. Uncle Gerald tugs at his collar. Cousin Rebecca exchanges glances with her husband. They look less like the intimidating social force I once perceived and more like actors who've forgotten their lines. Your behavior appears rather emotionally unstable, Andrew continues, emboldened by my silence. Operating a luxury business requires steady judgment. Margot nods, her tears miraculously dried. We're prepared to offer a generous settlement if the situation is handled quietly. The Hastings name carries weight in New York, and we would hate to see your lovely little company affected by unfortunate rumors. I feel a strange lightness spread through my chest as their veiled threats continue. 6 years of trying to belong, of checking my words and tempering my reactions, fall away like a heavy coat I no longer need. When they finally finish speaking, the room settles into expectant silence. I open my leather portfolio with deliberate slowness, the soft sound of the clasp releasing echoing in the tense quiet. Before I respond, I'd like everyone to look at these documents. I remove the first folder, placing it in the center of the table. These are financial records showing that I have personally funded the Hastings lifestyle for the past 3 years. The Aspen Chalet renovation, Andrew's failed investment in that tech startup, Margot's medical procedure in Switzerland, all paid through my company's accounts. The second folder lands with a soft thud. This contains proof of Andrew's affair with Brielle going back 18 months. Hotel receipts, text messages, photographs. The timeline is quite thorough. Andrew's face drains of color as the folder opens to reveal a particularly damning photograph. The third document might interest you most, Margot. I slide a bound stack of papers toward her. These are your emails to Brielle dating back 2 years. You were quite encouraging of the relationship. My favorite part is where you advised her on the perfect moment to announce her pregnancy to the family. The dinner in Paris seemed especially dramatic, though I wasn't supposed to be there